how can I help my husband better manage our kids?
Oh, man, I don't have any idea. Help me. Help me. I probably need to call you. What's going on?
So we have a 3-year-old and a 4-month-old. And he just has some anxiety, and he's pretty impatient. And he kind of just gets frustrated after like 10 minutes and then just needs to go take a break.
Hmm.
And I don't get any breaks.
Yeah. How long has this been going on?
He's not that awful with like the babies, but once they hit the toddler age,
He's not that awful.
once they
He's
hit
only
the toddler
medium.
age-
He's medium awful with the babies. He's
Yes.
full awful with the older one.
Yeah. So the older one is a little bit worse just because, toddlers are little mini teenagers.
But also all right, so I remember the exasperated when my daughter didn't do it so much, but my son, when he was just like a ball. I just remember he's a ball of human, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a newborn. My wife was back teaching, and he would just scream in this harrowing scream. I didn't know what to do, and I would just like try everything, screaming. I didn't know what to do, and I used to get so frustrated. I would just get exasperated. Like, I don't know what to do here. But my wife wasn't there, so I had to do something, right? And sometimes I would just take him out, put him in a stroller, and just be walking on the street and screaming. I didn't know what to do, right? And so I get that. The 3 or 4-year-old, now we're getting into like adult, grown-up, temper tantrum-y kind of world. Tell me about that.
So
Let me say this. So I have a ton of compassion for mom or dad. Like, I need a break for a second. I got to go outside because my nerves are fried. I get that. And I also get the other side of it, like, hey, one of us doesn't get a break, right? One of us has to be here for the screaming human being. I get that.
Yeah.
But tell me about the 3, 2, 3, 4, or 5-year-old.
I don't know. Like, she is very independent and likes to do her own thing. And she doesn't listen to him because I feel like he like just starts yelling and like puffs and puffs whenever she's like reacting to anything. And like I am able to like talk to her and like validate her feelings and like work her through it and kind of use it as like a teaching moment. But he just kind of freaks out. So then now she doesn't listen to him. And then I think he like is scared that he doesn't want to cause a tantrum by like getting her to follow through with like non-negotiable things like brushing your hair after the bath. Because he doesn't want her to cry because he doesn't know how to handle it and then stresses him out.
Gosh, this is the most like, dude, you're like talking about Every House USA right now. I guess this is as direct as I would put this. The stake of his relationship with his daughter and his wife are on the line right now.
Yes.
And if this was not about relationships, but this was about feeding his family at work, hey, we are no longer writing things on paper and putting them in an envelope. We have this new thing called email. You learn how to do it or you're fired. You know what everybody did? They learned how to do email.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I know we can do it, but we have to step over our egos. And by the way, it's a big step. And this is the pot talking to the kettle here. When you look in your tool bag to help solve a problem with your kids and there's no tools in there, or there's just one, yell. Or just another tool, just hide. Or another tool, just shut down and play video game. Like, it's scary. So I get that. But he has got to put on his big boy pants and decide, I'm going to learn how to connect with my daughter and do this right because the stakes are way too high.
Yeah.
If you approach him as a skills issue, at least in my house, I will tell you it's one of the greatest gifts my wife gave me. Besides psychological stability, which I needed desperately, she approached me learning things about my kids as skills, not as character defects. Do you get the difference? It made all the world to me. Because when I would do something wrong, when I would try to take on my daughter when she was 4, and now I've got a 40-year-old trying to take on a 4-year-old, which is a recipe for an inferno, right? She didn't come at me and say, you're stupid, you're dumb, I can't believe you're doing this. She would never do that. But she'd say, hey, this particular approach isn't effective, try this one. And then I had to be a grown-up and go talk to Becky Kennedy. I had to be a grown-up and go talk to Sissy Goff here in Nashville. I had to be a grown-up and go learn a whole bunch of skills, talk to my friend Lynn Jennings back in Lubbock, Texas. I had to get on the phone and learn some skills because the stakes were too high. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm pretty passionate about this just because it was my house, right?
Yeah, and I try to give him like tips on things that he can do, and then I kind of like explain like why I do the things that I do. And I know that he feels really bad because he like can't figure it out.
He can. Because he can figure out his truck and he can figure out sports. He can figure out what he wants to figure out.
Yeah.
It just takes a lot of patience, and it's really boring, and it's really revealing. And I ended up in counseling, some pretty heavy counseling, because I had some stuff I had to get right with me.
Yeah, I forced him to start therapy, so he just
That's always good. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How did his mom treat him?
Oh, she just let him do whatever he wanted. He was an only child, and she's still the same way today.
Okay. What about his dad?
Yeah, he wasn't really in the picture.
Okay. Does he like the way his mom raised him?
I think yes and no.
Okay.
I think he's starting to realize that it wasn't always the best. But she did the best that she could, being like a single mom.
Okay. Have you two aligned on parenting strategies?
I mean, I know for sure.
I know you do.
I tell him like what I want, and like he agrees with it most of the time.
Okay. Here's a helpful exercise.
Yeah.
I want y'all to get away for a breakfast, okay? And I know that sounds insane right now. Can you pump or something? I don't know the mechanic. Can you get away where it's just y'all two for one breakfast for 2 hours? Is that possible?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. I want you to do that. And I want you to hold both of his hands across the table and say, I see a husband who loves me and our 2 kids more than life itself, and I'm so grateful. Do you believe that? Is that a true statement? I don't put words in your mouth.
Yes.
Do you believe he's a good man inside?
Yes.
Okay. I also want you to tell him whatever is true in your heart about how he has talked to you about how he was raised. And that I don't want to duplicate that here. And maybe that frustration and that smoke and that anger he's feeling, his dad left. He needs to go deal with that smoke and anger and rage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or that powerlessness. That's the feeling, is that powerlessness. I can't even get a 4-year-old, a 10-pound 4-year-old to put her clothes away, right? I can't, I feel so weak and powerless.
Mm-hmm.
And then men especially take that personally and becomes existential. And then it gets loud. And then I think you'd be real clear, hey, the stakes are too high here. What was your relationship like with your dad?
He wasn't around.
Okay. So are you both kind of flying blind here on what a good dad looks like?
Yes.
Can we put that on the table?
Mm-hmm.
And you can look at him and say, now that I'm a mom, here's what I wish I'd had. And then here's a real fun exercise. Let's say your daughter's name is Julie.
Mm-hmm.
What do we want Julie, who do we want Julie to be the night she walks across that graduation stage in high school? We want her to be a person of character. We want her to be hilarious. We want her to be strong. We want her to be independent. We want her to be able to follow instructions, like all those things. Write all those down and let's distill those all the way back to, okay, then as of right now, she's got to know that we love her no matter what. As for our house, no more yelling. As for our house, no more disappearing. And let's put some of those things on paper. Because I think both of you have you heard me talk about pictures and words?
Yes.
Okay. I think you have a picture of what you want him to be like. And he's got a picture of what he wants his kids to be like. And y'all are talking past each other. So let's go paint those pictures really clearly.
Yeah.
And then he's going to have to just be a grown man to get some new skills because he doesn't have a skill set. And you're going to have to be a grown woman and get some skills on communicating directly and clearly and go from there. Does that make sense? I don't know if this is helpful or not, but.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
I ache for him. It's like I want to hug him and also be like, bro, it's time. Yeah, like hug him and shake him. Yeah. It's shake and then pat, and then shake and then pat. Because I've been him. And I want him to know what it's like on the other side of this. When your 9-year-old daughter like brings you this hilarious story that she's written in a secret card that says, you're my favorite, you're like, I love you, Daddy, you're my favorite, and curls up next to you on the couch when you're sick and says, I want to watch whatever show you want to. I want him to know what it feels like to be at peace with your kids. And that means you're at peace with yourself. I want him to know what that feels like, and you can't. You just got to tell somebody, trust me, and walk through that gauntlet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will also tell you that it's become it's a much easier process when I know my wife isn't sitting next to me judging every step I take. She's with me, encouraging me, and receiving feedback too, because it's not like she's perfect, right? But we're doing this thing together. Whew. You're on the right path, man. You're on the right path. You can't change him, but man, you can sure encourage the heck out of him. And on the actual tasks, you can be very, very clear about some tasks. But let's get away. Let's swipe the thing clear. Both of you are trying to have a picture of a dad that you'll have never experienced in real life. Let's get aligned on that picture, and let's go try to make that picture real. I believe in you guys.